The Atlanta Falcons got interim head coached. They were on the receiving end of this, not even mythological, because it's very real, this hunger and speed and violence that teams come out and play when they fire their head coach and the interim comes in and you get a one-game boost out of it, and the result is a 2017 win for the Saints. The story of the game for me is when you lose by 3 and your kicker goes 1 for 4, you can kind of stop reading right there and make up your own conclusions of how the game went. The Atlanta Falcons offense made enough plays to win the game. Could they have made more? Yeah, of course they could have, but did they do enough to usually win? I'd say if you get your field goal kicker in range 4 times and he converts just 1, the offense probably held up their end of the bargain. The defense was bad in the first half, 17 points allowed, but they buckled up in the second half, held the Saints to 3 points, shut them out in the fourth quarter. Like, the defense in the second half made the plays they needed to make to win this game. I hate to ever place a loss on just one individual because it's 60 minutes, right? So if it's like the last play right there where Kirk Cousins, who we'll talk about in a moment, makes a numbskull decision to check it down on 4th and 4 like it's the playoff game against the Giants 2 years ago, then people are going to gravitate towards that. But to me, this is a simple execution. Your kicker went 1 for 4 and you lost by 3. At the very least, he should go 50%. And that's still bad, by the way. And you're tied. Mathematically, he should make 3 out of 4 kicks. Which, playing the percentage number, he should be a 75% field goal kicker at worst. And that should be a 3-point victory for the Falcons. So, extremely frustrating isn't even the right word to summarize this, I feel like. Just, like, disappointing. Because you only get 17 cracks at it. And I don't think this loss is going to be a loss that we look back at and go, man, the Falcons missed the playoffs because of one game. This was the game. No, I think Atlanta still be a good team. I still think they're going to be a playoff team. I still think they're going to be a very competitive team in the playoffs. But this is a loss we can look back at and go, that might be the thing that holds them from being the 2 seed. That might be the thing that holds them back from hosting 2 home playoff games instead of just 1. This is the kind of loss that you go, when the margins are so slim, we just can't afford to have a 1 for 4 performance from our kicker. A career worst, by the way, for Koo. First time he's ever missed 3 field goals in the game. Which, for anyone that watched the preseason with us, there was that Ravens game, which was dreadful. And a lot of us were starting to panic a little bit, but he dialed back in. And he made big kicks against the Saints earlier and against the Buccaneers earlier. But, yeah, 1 for 4, I don't really care what you did for me before. It's a what have you done for me now league. And you got to go at least 3 for 4. At worst, 2 for 4. 1 for 4. With that, we could talk about Kirk Cousins and how the defense made stops at the end, gave the ball back to the offense, quickly too, by the way. A couple 3-and-outs from Derek Carr, and back-to-back drives, interception, turnover on downs. I know the defense wasn't great today, but they held the Saints to 20 points, which isn't saying a whole lot, but they adjusted. MVS torched them in the first half. I don't even know if MVS was in the stadium for the second half. Never heard his name. Never saw a ball thrown his direction. Did he get injured? Like, that's how good of an adjustment we saw from this Falcons defense. Did they ever really generate a ton of pressure on Carr? A little bit. They made it uncomfortable. They never got to him, but what's new? But at the end of the day, the defense, they did their part. Sure, they probably front-loaded their points, give up 20, but if I tell you guys every single Sunday, hey, the opposing team's going to score 20 points, you're hammering Falcons' money line. The offense at the end there, even despite Younghoe Koo's misses, they have to get some level of blame too. An interception and a bad one too to Tyrann Mathieu right over the middle. And then just, I wouldn't say like a rookie quarterback moment, but that strip sack, I wouldn't say it was too easy to give up, but fucking hold on to the ball, Cousins. Right? You know that right now is the most important time to protect the football. Can't afford 2nd and 28. So Cousins had some good moments, moved the ball down the field for the most part. He didn't have the clutch gene today. You needed it. He didn't have it. Robinson was terrific. If you missed it, 20 carries, 116 yards. His second touchdown was awesome. 40-plus yard, 37-yard run. Robinson continues to be, like, I wouldn't say underappreciated, but just every single Sunday, we see something from Robinson that we never saw the week before. He brings that level of skill to the conversation. Algier, by the way, also nonchalantly chiming in for 11 carries, 59 yards. The ground game was awesome. The offensive line did a good job today. I mean, Matthews and McGarry got cooked on 2 sacks that led to strip sacks. Outside of that, Cousins was Statue of Liberty in the pocket. He had all the time in the world. London, 8 grabs, 97 yards. It was good to see him look comfortable out there after the hip injury last week. Mooney was, once again, Darnell Mooney. He makes big plays on third down. 5 grabs, 96 yards. He probably leads the NFL in drawing pass interferences. And then Kyle Pitts, 4 grabs, 55 yards. He had a pretty solid day. All the offensive skill position players had solid days, right? I mean, unfortunately, they couldn't punch it in the red zone as much as I would have liked to see them do that, but they got the offense in field goal range 4 times. The kicker made 1 kick. Their quarterback turned it over twice. Once, and then I'm going to put the turnover on downs on Cousins because checking it down on 4th and 4, that play was kind of screwed from the start because you had 5 seconds and counting. You had to get the first down, and you had to get 4 yards and get out of bounds. That was probably not going to happen. So it likely should have been this is our Hail Mary moment. We're not going to get a playoff as the clock runs, a first down, and hopefully be out of bounds. All on 4th down, too, by the way. So you can't be picky, whereas like on 1st or 2nd down, if it's not there, you can throw it out of bounds or something. That should have been the Hail Mary play. But under the pressure of the moment, the clock ticking, that's a tough moment that I don't envy anyone to be in. We're going to talk about this game in more detail in just a second here. But first, a quick shout out to our sponsor today, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks now offers Venmo for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this season. So download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. All of that information is in the comments and description of today's video. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. When you look at the numbers here, this game, like, if you just saw this graphic, you'd kind of think the Falcons ran away with it. 468 total yards, 25 first downs. I mean, 5 for 14 on third down. That's a clip above 33%. There's worse, but that's not, that's not like what you look at as a reason why they lost. Only 6 penalties to New Orleans is 8. You dominated time of possession. Unfortunately, you got interim head coached. Rizzy brought his fucking Rizzler genes with him, and Younghoe Koo bent the knee and went 1 for 4. You got rizzed. You got interim head coached. It's unfortunate that the Falcons had to play the Saints this week because I'm telling you right now, New Orleans is going to get the doors blown off next week because all their voodoo magic is gone this week. They used it all up. 1 for 4, a blocked field goal. Got rizzed. You got interim head coached. It's a real thing. With this game now, I counted it over the week this past week. Interim head coaches since 2021 are 4-4 in their first game. 500 when taking over for a team that's probably like 2-7, 0-9, usually when you fire your head coach. Derek Carr and the offense, they were really good in the first half, but credit to Jimmy Lake and this defense. They have made some really nice halftime adjustments this year. Is this Falcons defense a fantasy football defense? Heavens no. Is it a defense that you would be one to reminiscent? No. Do they make good second half adjustments? Got to give them credit. Like Alvin Kamara had some nice runs early in the game. They really bottled him up. MVS, I don't know if he even showed up for the second half. Like, did not hear his name once. So kudos to Lake and the defense. I'm not going to be too upset with a 20-point performance. It was on pace to be way worse, but hey, they're going to dial in for the second half. Got to give credit where credit is due. They made the stops they had to make. They gave the ball back to the offense not once, but twice in the last 6-7 minutes of the game with an opportunity to tie it at the very least. Offense and Younghoe Koo let them down. Koo let him down by going 1 for 4. Offense let him down by turning it over twice in the last 2 drives. That, to me, is the story of the game here. Does it completely erase the first half? No. Do we have an issue with guarding fast players? Yeah. Like, how does MVS get that wide open? Not once, but twice. I know he's fast, but there's a reason why he's hopped around the league, guys. He's not unguardable. Guys, Falcons chain out. Supposed to be a fun day. Not fun. So now, looking forward to next week. They have the Broncos on the road. If you missed it, Denver lost by 2 points in Kansas City. They had a 35-yard field goal with 1 second left blocked. So you better believe they're going to come out very hungry. They have lost 2 in a row. They sit at 5-5. It's going to be a tough outing. I'll say it. Southern team that plays in a dome going to Denver in mid-November. Not ideal. I think we can agree. That doesn't seem like an area where they thrive. So it's going to be tough and environmentally. It's going to be cold. It's going to be chilly. Maybe some snow. But at 6-4, they're not done. Like, they're not out or anything like that. I don't think this is a loss where you go, season's over or anything. Honestly, if they lost next week at 6-5, the season's not over. Thankfully, the NFC South kind of stinks. Like, Panthers aren't in it. The Saints aren't going to be in it. They're both 3 games back. Did the Bucks win today? I don't think the Bucks won. But they had the season series sweep on the Buccaneers. They had that tiebreaker anyway. Jake Moody, okay, so luckily everyone else except for the Panthers and not everyone else. So you and the Bucks won. The only 2 teams that are competitive in the division lost. So they didn't make up any ground on Atlanta. But that's going to do it for our postgame show today. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you are looking for free Falcons YouTube coverage, I suggest you hop aboard. We'll keep you guys informed and entertained all year long.